Hey yo, what is going on with my people, the Chico Army, and those who haven't joined, aka the viewers of the tube? If you don't know by now, my name is Tyler, and your eyes just set themselves on the crypto channel that gets why this police union president of New York decided to give this rant.
Because you know what? Everybody's trying to shame us. The legislators, the press, everybody's trying to shame us into being embarrassed about our profession. Well, you know what? This isn't stained by someone in Minneapolis. It's still got a shine on it. And so do theirs. So do theirs. Stop treating us like animals and bugs, and start treating us with some respect.
Well, maybe you guys should stop a certain policing procedure.
A policing procedure in New York continues to draw controversy this week as thousands took to the streets to protest the NYPD's Stop and Kiss program. The policy, which allows officers to kiss anyone who they think looks suspicious, has been the subject of criticism from those who say it's a violation of privacy and a potential breach of constitutional rights. New Yorkers who have been stopped often say the encounters feel extremely intrusive.
Going through my pockets, throwing my stuff on the ground, kissing me on my neck and face. They push me up against the wall and start nibbling on my ear.
You know how we stop and smooch? It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, today I want to dive into the world of DeFi, or decentralized finance, a buzzword for the next bull run, which is on the tip of everyone's tongue. I have been covering DeFi and the related projects for over a year now, after I smartened up and dropped the crap projects I held tightly onto since the 2017 peak, thinking they would rebound. And since then, I've been covering a series of projects. Some have done outstanding like Chainlink, Unibright, Energy Web, Kyber Network, and a few others. Some fell flat on their face after stumbling around, Enigma. But today I want to cover the projects who I still hold, but haven't talked about for a bit, as the teams have been building with their heads down, getting the code out for some big releases. Thus, there wasn't much to talk about with these projects. But this proves why I believe identifying the solid projects that are building early on with big partners and then just sitting back and holding while they build. It's the best strategy in my opinion. So let's get into the first project I would like to cover, and many people have been asking me to talk about it again for a while. That project is iExec RLC. So why do I want to dive into RLC today? Well, last week the project announced the timeline for version 5 of the platform, with the big smart contract update coming in July and the big V5 enterprise announcement coming in September. So this summer and into the fall is going to be hot for RLC. So we could wait around and see what they release in July and September, or we could do what we do best and get out our research shovels and start a digging. So the earlier release, the big smart contract update, this has to have something to do with what iExec was chosen for last fall in October when Hyperledger Avalon was announced. Now, I've covered this before, but let's reiterate it again because it's highly important. From the release about Avalon, Avalon began as a reference implementation of EEA's off-chain trusted compute specification, which sought to standardize how to farm out and reconcile workloads. Coming out of the EEA specification discussions, iExec was excited to build a heart disease evaluation prototype. iExec also immediately dove into building the Ethereum components for Avalon's proxy model. Yep, iExec is a major component of Avalon. So what were they tasked with Avalon in doing? Well, from the wiki, in the section Effort and Resources, iExec, 4 contributors will develop Ethereum smart contracts, integrate TEE options that support most of the mainstream programming languages and native applications, and improve Avalon ease of use for developers. Smart contracts, that is what they are developing for Avalon. And then in July, we get a big smart contract update from iExec? What could this mean? Well, just yesterday, iExec decided to leave more crumbs about the July smart contract update. And it's all about privacy and interoperability tools for DeFi. And then let's just see what a description of Avalon is. From the wiki, Avalon enables privacy in blockchain transactions, moving intensive processing from a main blockchain to improve scalability and latency, and to support attested oracles. And then in March, iExec put out this blog post about the smart contract update titled Future-Proofing iExec, Smart Contract Interoperability and Modularity. And one thing that stuck out to me was the section Address Predictability with Create 2. It It says iExec is present on multiple networks, including Ethereum's mainnet, the Goerli testnet, and our own sidechain Bellicor. Switching from one blockchain to another can be a pain, in particular when a smart contract address changes from one chain to another. Thankfully, the Create2 opcode introduced as part of the Istanbul network upgrade can change that. In addition to using Create2 for app, dataset, and worker pools addresses being the same across blockchains, it is something we plan to use for the deployment of the core contracts of iExec. Create2 opcode, I'm sure you're a little confused, but if you want to understand the importance of Create2, then we need to see who is using it right now. Coinbase Custody is actually using Create2 opcodes in payment processing with USDC for Coinbase Commerce, and they explain its benefits. Unlike Create, which uses the ever-increasing sender's nonce, Create2 uses an argument-specified salt. This enables a number of workflows that were impossible or impractical before. We can now simulate complex workflows completely off-chain, without needing to track any state beyond a self-generated salt. We can safely interact with the blockchain only when we need to on an on-chain settlement. So Coinbase is working on Create2, iExec is too, to make communication between their sidechain and the Ethereum mainnet swift and easy. Now let's get into the meat of things, the iExec sidechain, because this makes things come full circle. So in December of last year, iExec released V4 of their platform, which included the launch of a sidechain. From a blog post about the release, at V4 release, we'll launch a sidechain for interactions on the iExec network. The sidechain is enabled on POA chains and bridges based on Parity tech. Yes, Parity of Gavin Wood, who I have been talking about a lot lately. Polkadot, Kusama, Parity Substrate, of which iExec has released a video on in March of last year, titled iExec and Parity Substrate, where lead smart contract developer Francois gave a 30-minute presentation on their planned build, working with both Polkadot and Substrate teams. So is something cooking with this, a bridge with Create2 or some type of technology for POA chains and even parachains from Polkadot? Well, in December, after the launch of their own POA sidechain, Bellicor, they were attending Polkadot meetups, connecting the dots, an introduction to Polkadot, Kusama, and Substrate. And guess who was there? Oleg. He commented below, Farid, thank you very much for the great organization as usual. And Farid replies, thank you very much, Oleg. Was great having you and the other iExec team members there. Who is Oleg? It's Oleg Lodijinsky, PhD and Chief Technical Officer for iExec. Again, is all I gotta say. Will we see some big smart contract releases come next month? I believe so. Now it's time for a short sponsored segment of this video, supported by the awesome DeFi team over at Argent Wallet. And like always, the details of our agreement can be found in the description. So why is this a perfect wallet to bring up right now? Well, if you're an RLC holder, it was just announced that you can now store, manage, and even directly buy right through the Argent Wallet, and potentially coming soon, the ability to stake your RLC right in the wallet. So what is Argent? It can be considered the first smart Ethereum wallet, which has a focus on unleashing the true powers of decentralized finance, DeFi. And the first thing that should be on any wallet's top concern and priority is security, and Argent provides that on a whole nother level. They pride themselves on being the most secure crypto wallet with unprecedented security features like daily transfer limits, recovery with no seed phrase, and wallet locking and unlocking. And it's all blockchain based, so anyone can inspect it and have confidence in it. At its heart, Argent is a non-custodial Ethereum wallet. You're in control of your keys, and transactions are impossible to initiate without your authorization. But as we know with other custodial wallets, hardware like a ledger and app-based like Coinbase's wallet, you have to write down that security phrase, keep it and remember it to restore your funds. If you lose it, you are shat out of luck. Funds gone forever. And that's complex for the average user. They don't want to do that. Keep a seed phrase. So Argent has created a secure solution to make things simple. A wallet can be secured through Argent Guardians, which can be a trusted friend, your phone, your hardware wallet, and even yourself through Argent's own Guardian service, Argent Guard. So for example, let's set up an Argent wallet, which I have included links for download for both Android and iOS in the description. Once you're through the very simple setup process, you just need to go to your profile and then security and go to Guardians. As we can see, Argent's own Argent Guard is set up by default, which is confirming with the email and phone number you used to set up the wallet with, aka yourself. But you can also add a Guardian, which includes friends and family, and more options, including MetaMask and hardware wallets. With friends and family, you can add them through an Ethereum 0x address, an ENS name, or from an Argent username, but you can also add them from your phone contacts. And then if you want to move to a hardware wallet like a Ledger, you can go to more options, add Guardian, and follow the instructions on screen. For a Ledger on a computer, you go to security.argent.xyz. Click on Ledger, connect it, then scan the QR code from your phone, which pops up on the computer screen. So now we have Argent Guard, our Ledger, and one friend as our Guardian. So if you lose your phone with your Argent wallet and funds on it, it plays out like this. You can recover your wallet by downloading Argent on another phone. You then ask Argent's Guardian service to send you a text and an email to confirm your identity. That is factor number 1. And confirming your identity with the Ledger Nano S, factor number 2. 2 out of 3 of our Guardians, the Guardian service and our Ledger, reached consensus that it was okay to start the recovery process. But what if we couldn't get the same number for some reason, or lost that email and couldn't use that Guardian service? Well, you could use the Ledger and your friend. As long as the majority, in this case at least 2 out of 3 agree, then the recovery process begins. But also there is a slight delay with the recovery process. Funds are released in 36 hours. So if there was a collusion attempt with the Guardians, the true owner can cancel the hijacking attempt. Pretty cool, huh? Well, Vitalik thinks so too, as he tweeted about it. And Argent is the only wallet who has this, and it brings other benefits, like instant wallet freezes and some awesome transaction protection features. So security, check. What else do they have? Like mentioned, DeFi. They have many of the top DeFi protocols and dApps directly integrated into the wallet. Uniswap, token sets, Pool Together, Kyber, DSR, Compound, and more. So those DeFi features, savings, swaps, lottery, and more right in the wallet. So if you're looking for something a little more DeFi and user-friendly, Argent is quickly becoming the industry standard. And now the next DeFi pick of mine for the coming up summer is one that has another massive launch, the release of V2 of their platform, and you can hold it with Argent too. This is Augur, and V1 has been out for some time. So what is Augur? It's a generalized protocol for creating prediction markets. V1, in my opinion, can be considered a proof of concept, as it's not user-friendly and it uses a fairly intensive trading UI. With V2, they will introduce 3 open source UIs that will make Augur more accessible to a wider set of market participants. A revamped trading UI, traditional sportsbook UI, and a betting exchange UI. So what will come out of V2 will be very interesting. DIY fully decentralized and trustless derivative exchanges. Remember me talking smack about derivatives and applying them to the Bitcoin hash rate? Well, with Augur, you take out that stupid centralized middleman like FTX exchange, and a true market like that can be created. That is good for the space. With the launch of V2 this summer and the November elections later in the year, I see big things with Augur, as on their website they have a placeholder for the world's most accessible no-limit political trading platform. Decentralized Trump futures, decentralized Biden futures, decentralized Vermin Supreme 2020 free ponies for all futures. Augur can and probably will have it. All jokes aside, I do see the outcomes in Augur in relation to politics getting a big look because of all the voting manipulation that will go on. Eventually, I see Augur being used as a resource for elections, and this year will be the proving ground. So you guys, with decentralized finance, don't be swayed by the marketing tactics of the fakers. The true projects they have built, they are continuing to build, and they bring tools that innovate not only in the cryptocurrency space, but to bring those on the outside in. Cheers. I'll see you next time.